Hey Virgos, and welcome to your October 2017 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. And check you guys out. I feel like there is a lot of new things happening for you guys. October has turned out to just be such a crazy month for everybody. I think that you guys are kind of ahead of the game, though, compared to a lot of people. There are a few signs that I feel like are kind of avoiding the crisis that a lot of humanity is going through. There are a few signs that I feel like might be having a little bit of a difficult circumstance, but comparatively speaking, it's pretty good, and you are definitely one of them, as well as Leo was too. So any of you Virgos who also have Leo in your chart, you should be pretty good through October, although it's not particularly easy either. It's kind of one of those like multifaceted energetic types of months, as it always is, but it's definitely emphasized here. The energy of moving definitely comes forward for you guys. So if you're not just going on a trip or traveling, you could be moving here. Also, the energy of feeling depleted and feeling like you don't have enough to accomplish something. Some of you are kind of really polarized financially, because I feel for the majority of Virgos, you're doing quite well compared to where you've been in your life before, but now you are also like spending a lot more than you ever have, and this can be financially or energetically, and you're feeling depleted in some way. Some of you are changing your philosophy to how you spend, again, energetically or financially. Some of you are wanting to save more. Some of you are wanting to spend more. Things that you used to spend your money on aren't bringing you the same kind of relief or energetic uptick that it used to. So you're definitely starting to spend in a different way. I sense that a lot of you are doing like DIY projects or changing the space around you. If you're not moving, it's very good to uplift the space around you. I know quite a few Virgos in my personal life who have either been moving or have been like renovating or even just doing like really small things to change the space around them, and have been getting a lot of like healing out of that. So I feel that it can be positive for all Virgos, because changing something about your space, and even if it's like maybe even getting a new car or just something that changes the stimulation going on, helps to kind of take off the blindfold. You guys have two cards that represent not being able to see things for what they are. You have Two of Swords and Eight of Swords. So you guys are still kind of struggling with people either hiding things from you or ultimately hiding things from yourself even. So this month will be a month where you rise above that, I think. Your central theme is Six of Wands, which is so good for me to see. I believe that Scorpio had this as well. So stick around, Scorpios. I think that Scorpios and Virgos should be together during this time. If you know any Scorpios, it's good because it seems to help your confidence. Problems with insecurity, problems with not feeling like you're enough, problems with feeling like people want to keep secrets from you or want to lie to you because they're concerned with you not being able to handle it. Not necessarily because they're secret keepers, but because they want to maintain some kind of sense of normalcy. You're rising above that, and you're starting to get a new sense of confidence that really changes your ideals towards other people, your ideals towards yourself, and starts to project a new image. New images are big here. You can do like a lot of transformations with your expression. You can like change your hair or change the way you dress, get new wardrobes, and those things don't matter so much as just the new energy that's coming out. Although I think that they matter. I think that there's a lot of energetic backing to how we express ourselves to the world, but some people may disagree. But you are definitely kind of a new person, and I've noticed this in your readings for a while now, where you're kind of leveling with past versions of yourself and maybe trying to maintain too many versions of yourself, specifically those of you with like Gemini in your chart, where you're really balancing a lot of different sides to your personality. This will be a month where you become more identified in one thing or more identified in one way of being, whether you like it or not, it kind of seems like. You guys don't have too many reversals, comparatively speaking. You guys only have Page of Wands and Five of Pentacles reversed. All of these other energies, which can be kind of negative at times, are upright. So it's like you're seeing them for what they are, and they're a more general experience of themselves. So that's good to see for you guys. I want to go ahead and start looking at this for the week to week and see more clearly what is coming forward. For the first week, you guys have King of Pentacles rooted down by Five of Pentacles reversed. So I think that you're kind of, again, really leveling with past versions of yourself here, where you might have been like really more struggling financially or really feeling left out in the cold. Five of Pentacles is always feeling like you're being denied or feeling negated in some way. You have a lot of options around you, usually with Five of Pentacles. There are a lot of warm places to take refuge, but for some reason you choose to stay out in the cold. Now, whether that be because you're unaware of the warm places or because you feel that you have something to learn from the cold, that's not quite sure for you, Virgo. But one way or another, you do have opportunities. You might be feeling a little bit stripped in October of opportunities. You might feel like you're having to sort of feed into the same grind over and over and over again, and like you're not being reimbursed properly for the effort you're putting out, relating to jobs or your businesses. However, I mean, King of Pentacles is sort of the way that that's playing out. So it's interesting to see how much more wealthy you become. King of Pentacles doesn't always denote physical wealthiness, but there's something around you that's valuable, something resourceful, and something kind of kingly about your experience through this sort of negation of your wants. So I'm not quite sure how that plays out for you, but it's an interesting sort of mixture of energies you have going there. In the second week, things become more direct. You have Three of Swords rooted down by Two of Wands. And you do have a chronological order there. You have a 2 and a 3, so something is sort of jumping into place. Three of Swords is always a possibility for a falling out or for people to not give to you what you expected. I feel that you are finally understanding what somebody meant to you, or finally understanding the reality of your past here. And it's good to see that you're not getting too stuck there. Although in the fourth week, you do have that Eight of Swords, so there is something sticking about your energy. But it really feels like you're coming to terms with where you were and what you want in the second week, because you're kind of holding the world in your hands. That Three of Swords is rooted down by Two of Wands. So it's like through understanding your past, through understanding the separation that you've been through, you sort of give yourself more options, or you sort of start to realize freedom too. Like a lot of Virgos are single right now, I think. And for those of you who are, I think that you're finally starting to understand how free you are, or the positive sides of being single, which you haven't understood for a while, it seems like. For those of you who are coupled, though, you are really trying to flesh out the relationship, or you're really thinking about moving. You're thinking about changing the outside world of your relationship to see if that triggers something on the interior, because I don't see a lot of emotional satisfaction in relationships in general for Virgo right now. So regardless of whether you're single or coupled, you're not just quite feeling relationships one way or another. However, for those of you who have been single for a while, things can really change here. In the third week, you have that Six of Swords rooted down by Two of Swords. Six of Swords for me is always denoting possibly a quick relationship starting, like the type of relationship that you know somebody for like 2 weeks and then you move in with them. I always see that with Six of Swords, so that's possible for those of you who have been single for a while. But Six of Swords in general is a very close card to me as a reader. It's one of my sort of home cards, I feel like, and it's always very transformative. There's always some kind of emotional baggage here. You have to be careful about the people around you and sort of false faces that they give. It's very possible that people that you're around can be a lot more emotionally burdened than you're aware of. In fact, it can also be possible that you're drawing in really emotionally burdened people because you have something to prove to yourself through that. Six of Swords is a challenge because you have to pull the swords out. It's like the boat that you're on will capsize inevitably, but you're sort of blocking the holes with the swords in an attempt to make it go slower, in an attempt for things not to capsize, in an attempt for things not to end, even though they will. So it's good here to hone in on your strength and sort of swim to shore if you need to, or to do that which is inevitable sooner. That's always a really good energy to be in. When things become inevitable, when endings become inevitable, it's always good to at least make some kind of change in the energy rather than just letting it play out as long as it possibly can. And that's rooted down by Two of Swords. So this can be in ways that you're not quite aware of yet. Again, Two of Swords is a blind card. It's a card that can't see. So there's something that you're guarding off that relates to this transformation indicated by the Six of Swords, this sailing to smoother shores type of energy. You're not seeing it, and you're kind of blocked off to it. Oftentimes with Two of Swords, you can be like looking over your shoulder too. That's always, in a few other tarot decks that I use, it can be indicated in that way. And I always just read it that way. Oftentimes you might be looking in within and seeing your past, because I think the blindfold can also represent being stuck in the past, because you can relive your past without your eyes being open, but you can't live your present with your eyes shut type of ideal. So a lot of you are just kind of coming to terms with the past again. In the third week, something really clicks there. In fact, somebody could try to make closure with you during this time, or if you're wanting to make closure, this is a good time to do it, but you have to be open to not falling for that person again, or you have to be open to understanding like how things actually were for them. Like, it might not be something that shows you in the best light, or something that even if it's wrong, like you have to be open to other people's perception and opinions during this time, otherwise you don't get the full picture. But the third week is really beautiful in October. I think there is something, because again, that Six of Wands too, that's sort of your central theme, is touching on that. So it's like through that kind of more difficult swords experience, you come out with like this confidence and this flair. So that's nice to see. And fourth week, you have Page of Wands reversed, rooted down by Eight of Swords. Creativity is being stifled a little bit here by something. Fertility and creativity are the same concept energetically for me as a reader, because if you're infertile, you can kind of lose your creative streak and you can become more barren creatively too. And it's actually pretty easy to fix energetically. So if you've been struggling with like barren energy or infertility, definitely hit me up and book a reading with me, because I can really reverse that really quickly for you. It's all comes from your energetic thought process. But anyway, you're feeling a little bit barren here in the fourth week and feeling trapped by that, and realizing that it's like your own deal. Like, you don't really have anybody to blame for it, and you're not really trying to blame other people for it. Eight of Swords is definitely a card of blame for me, and sort of a realization that, like, you know, I'm to blame. Like, this is my deal and I'm going to punish myself. It can be sort of a self-wounding type of energy with Eight of Swords. And I feel like you have already had this experience, Virgo, so there's not a lot of need to be here. But Virgo is very like deprecating. Like, Virgo is very decisive. You're a mutable sign, and I just always noticed about Virgo that if you do something wrong, you hold yourselves like even more accountable than other people, because you do hold other people very accountable too. But you're not like a sign that generally tends for that to be like one way or anything. Because of how high standards you have for other people, it's like even higher for yourself, and it feels like you might have kind of messed up, or you might have kind of not done something the way that you anticipated, and you're really like upset at yourself. And I think that you come out of it pretty quickly, though. I think that you kind of realize that there wasn't a lot of other ways. Again, blindfolds with the Eight of Swords, not pulling in the present, really past oriented with both Two of Swords and Eight of Swords. So open your eyes, take the blindfold off, get out of the trap of what your past is, and really step into a place where you're sort of new and determining your future and determining that which you want now, versus jumping off of the past. Because that worked, I feel like, when Saturn was in Scorpio. Like, Virgo learned a lot about like using the past as like a stepping stone, but that's no longer the energy here. And this last little bit of Saturn and Sag will be good for you to take more risks and be good for you to be less past oriented, because you have a confidence within you, Virgo, that is forming in a really, really exciting way. Six of Wands is wonderful for that type of thing. And throughout all of this, you're really gaining a new kind of presence in your life, and people will start to really respect you in the future. That's the other thing. You're about to get a lot of respect and a lot of like positive validation. And it's like, if you're not through some of this past stuff, that can become a weird cycle and you won't appreciate it enough. So really take the blindfold off. Things are about to get better for you. Kind of a short reading for you guys, but check out your sun, moon, rising sign. I feel like there's not a lot more that can come from this. Sometimes things are better when they're short. And if this reading was helpful for you guys, I really hope you'll get the chance to check out my new Patreon page. The link should be popping up in the center of your screen right now. Through Patreon, you can see my readings with no ads and also have early access to them. I also do monthly drawings for free readings and have lots of fun discussions. So if you are interested, you can be sure and check it out. If you guys would like to book a private reading with me, that link is in the description box. And I hope that you'll get the chance to subscribe to my YouTube channel here now if you want to keep track of the reading process and what all I am putting out. I hope you guys have an amazing October, and I will be seeing you in November. Bye.